it's a number of things. I think every song is a hit, that's one thing, and the songs are astonishingly infectious. I mean, you can take children to see the show, and they are within minutes. They're sort of singing, they're coming out, they're singing the songs. They're so catchy, and the hooks are so addictive. So I think, yeah, every song's a hit. I think it's an incredibly ingenious story, and I think there are, until Mamma Mia, a lot of musicals were nostalgic. They were set in the 19th century. They're very kind of far from. But here you've got sort of people from the audience on stage, ordinary people, all shapes and sizes, you know, women of a certain age, and you've also fundamentally you've got two generations. So because it's a mother and daughter story, you can identify with it. You know, you can go into the story at sort of any generation, and so we found that people would come and see it and go, oh, I've got to go and book tickets to take my mum, or oh, my granny would love this, and not just girls. I mean, men loved it as well, and found the whole, you know, the male part of the story very funny and silly. So it's a sort of, it is a really good plot about, you know, identity and what is it that we need to make us feel whole, and it's so lurking under the surface of this apparently light throwaway evening was actually quite a serious story. And having seen it now in, you know, Japan and in Japanese, and I haven't actually seen it in China, but you know, this idea of sort of whether you're looking at it from the daughter's point of view, you know, the struggle for identity, search for identity, or from the mother's point of view, the struggle to let go of a child and what that means to allow a child to grow up. These stories are ones that seem to translate in every culture, and then you find, of course, that people are mad about ABBA in the most curious places. But I think translating it, you know, into other languages has been amazing. I'm sorry we're not doing it in Tamil and Sinhala. I always want it to be the best it can be, but I feel like the actors are really going to be in their stride here, and I'm so excited to see what a Sri Lankan audience makes of it. I just, you know, I'm going with, you know, a lot of friends from here, and I just, of all ages actually, down to quite young, and in fact very young. I don't know whether the youngest is 6 or 7, and so I'm very just excited to see, because I feel like Sri Lankan people have such tremendous senses of humour. I think I've laughed more in the last week, you know, than I have for a while, and that's everywhere we've gone. You know, there's a joke, and so I hope that it will appeal. You know, I really hope it will. And obviously, this is a new, you know, thing to bring the show to South Asia, and that's so this is just, you know, and I'm excited to see the theatre. I mean, you're always a bit nervous, but I'm more just thrilled that I'm here to be part of it. I suppose I believe very much in helping the actors to own the experience to the greatest extent they can. And I think, you know, there is a danger that in musicals it's about stand there and learn these dance steps and learn your songs and don't bump into the furniture. But this is a story that's partly about a community who live on an island, and so I wanted to build that sense of that community. And so yes, I do a lot of games and exercises and improvisation, and so a lot of what you see on the stage will appear to be very rigorously choreographed, and it is, but it was born out of actors improvising with props, and so now obviously when you're reproducing the show on a kind of global scale, there is more sense of actually handing on some pattern to people, but it's come from somewhere quite, spontaneity was everything, because the show ultimately is about meant to remind you of what it's like when you're in your bedroom with a few girlfriends and on comes ABBA on the radio, and you all pick up hairbrushes and start dancing and being very, very silly. So it has to have that sense of, we call it the Mamma Mia factor. It's the free spirit factor. I think the added pressure is not the collaboration, because I'm used to that. As I say, in opera you have to collaborate with conductors and orchestras and all kinds of different departments. I think the pressure is on a commercial show. The economic stakes are very high, and therefore people get nervous. And as the director, your job is to just, have put on your blinkers. It's not that you're not listening to everybody. You have to, thank you for that and thank you for this. But ultimately, you have to be very single-minded and not get swayed by all the chit-chat and people's anxiety about whether the show is going to, whether it's going to be a hit. You're just striving you're trying to really hold on to your original principles of what you're doing. And actually there's no difference between directing Shakespeare, directing ABBA, directing an opera, directing a movie. It's all the same mental focus and listening to your collaborators. But all the people who worked on this show originally, Catherine the writer, Judy the producer, Mark the designer, we all came from subsidised theatre, in other words government subsidised, not-for-profit theatre, and that's where we all trained. And so we had very shared principles and it's just really about how you hang on to those when you make that transfer into the commercial world.